Right now, in this very moment, your mind is racing. But what if there is a secret hidden in silence, a force waiting quietly within you? Many walk through life blind to the simplest truth. True mastery begins with being fully present. Today, I will guide you through a principle so powerful that emperors and monks alike have built their lives around it, yet so subtle that most never recognize it. In the ancient Shaolin halls, masters discovered that before the body can move with precision, the mind must be calm and aware. Every gesture, every decision flows from this silent center. They trained in stillness, not to pause life, but to see it with unmatched clarity. There are stories rarely told of warriors who could sense danger before it arrived, of monks who moved through the forest as if the trees themselves whispered secrets. This is the hidden art of presence, a power that shapes destiny without force. In this video, you will uncover techniques to quiet the mind, sharpen perception, and notice what others consistently overlook. You will learn how aligning your awareness can amplify every choice, every step, every encounter. This is not just philosophy, it is a practical path to living with precision, courage, and inner strength. By the end, you will understand why presence is not merely a skill, but the foundation upon which all mastery is built. The smallest shift in attention can ripple through your life, changing how you think, act, and respond. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where the ancient teachings of the Shaolin awaken the modern spirit. Subscribe now and step into the journey of awareness that could transform everything you know about power, focus, and mastery. There is a quiet strength in the rhythm of daily life, a power often overlooked by those chasing freedom without understanding its roots. Many see discipline as chains, as a burden to endure. But in the halls of Shaolin, discipline is a key that unlocks the mind, body, and spirit. It is the gentle, persistent current that shapes raw potential into mastery. Every morning, the masters rise before dawn, not because they are forced, but because the structure of their day allows the mind to move freely, untangled from chaos. Each practice, each posture, each repetition is a thread woven into a tapestry of strength and clarity. Without these routines, even the sharpest mind or the strongest body is scattered, fragile, incomplete. Discipline in Shaolin is not about blind obedience. It is an art of self-control, a conscious cultivation of habits that elevate rather than restrict. The mind learns to focus, the body learns to respond, and the spirit learns to endure. There are tales of monks who spent decades in quiet repetition, refining the simplest movements until they carried the precision of the wind, the calm of a still pond, the power of a mountain. Their freedom was not in abandoning rules, it was in mastering them so deeply that every action became effortless, every choice deliberate. The routines we often dismiss as mundane hold a hidden alchemy. The smallest acts, rising early, tending to the body, meditating in stillness, form an invisible foundation beneath our days. These habits silently shape resilience, clarity, and courage. True freedom is born not from escape, but from the mastery of self, from the steady forging of mind and body into instruments of focus and purpose. In this quiet discipline lies the path to real strength, a freedom that flows naturally from order, from intentionality, from unwavering practice. True power begins not in the world we see, but in the silent chambers of the mind. Before a monk strikes with precision, before the body moves with force or grace, there is a long, unseen training of patience, focus, and resilience. These qualities are cultivated quietly, often in solitude, away from the eyes of others. They are the invisible muscles that shape every outward success. In the Shaolin tradition, a novice does not rush to perfect the body. First, the breath is trained, the mind is disciplined, the energy refined. A single moment of distraction can undo years of preparation, the external victory, the flawless movement, the decisive action, the achievement that others envy is nothing without this inner foundation. Life, too, mirrors this rhythm. Those who leap blindly into challenges, seeking results before understanding themselves, often stumble. Those who strengthen the mind first move through the world with deliberate force. There are stories of monks who would sit in meditation for hours, feeling every thought arise and pass, observing the mind's turbulence without surrendering to it. In time, patience becomes natural, focus becomes instinct, and resilience becomes unshakable. When the body finally moves, it is no longer acting alone, it is guided by the quiet mastery of mind and spirit. Winners in any field follow this same principle. They build their inner landscape with care, tending to habits, attitudes, and emotional responses as diligently as any skill. External achievements are then no longer mere luck, they are the natural expression of cultivated strength. The world recognizes only the victory, but the true triumph lies within, where discipline, clarity, and resilience have quietly done their work. To seek success without this inner training is to build a house on sand. But when the mind, energy, and spirit are forged first, every outward action flows with ease. Every challenge becomes a mirror reflecting the mastery already within. Every movement, every thought, every intention carries energy, subtle yet powerful enough to shape the course of a life. In the quiet halls of Shaolin, masters understand that this energy is not to be wasted. A mind scattered in worry, a body rushing without awareness, a heart pulled by fleeting desires. Each misalignment disperses energy that could otherwise be harnessed for mastery. Monks spend years cultivating awareness of this invisible force. They learn to feel the flow of energy in the body, to sense its rhythm in the breath, and to direct it with purpose. Meditation is not merely sitting still, it is training the mind to observe, to notice the currents within, to distinguish between what strengthens and what diminishes. Controlled breathing becomes a bridge, channeling energy from distraction into focus, from doubt into clarity. Every action, when guided by this awareness, becomes deliberate. The hand that strikes does so with precision, because energy flows through it unhindered. The mind that decides does so with clarity, because attention is concentrated, not scattered. Ordinary effort may move the body, but it is energy mastery that moves mountains, shifts circumstances, and transforms outcomes. Stories passed down through the Shaolin lineage tell of warriors who, by controlling their energy, could sense danger before it arrived, move with uncanny speed, and act with flawless timing. The difference between a moment wasted and a moment maximized lies not in physical skill alone, but in the conscious management of energy. In life beyond the temple, this principle remains unchanged. The same currents flow within anyone willing to observe, direct, and refine them. By cultivating mindfulness, controlling attention, and aligning energy with intention, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Every step, every decision, every thought becomes a reflection of mastery, and the unseen power within begins to shape reality with quiet, unstoppable force. There is a profound power in stillness, a force that moves silently beneath the surface of every decisive action. In Shaolin philosophy, stillness is not the absence of movement, but a deliberate preparation, a quiet sharpening of mind, body, and spirit. It is in these moments of pause that the seeds of clarity take root and the path forward becomes visible. Monks often spend hours in meditation, sitting in silence as thoughts rise and fall like waves. At first, the mind resists, restless and wandering, but gradually, through patience and repetition, the chaos settles, revealing an inner calm that observes without judgment. From this stillness, insight emerges, timing is refined, and decisions no longer come from impulse, they flow naturally, precise, and deliberate. Stories from the Shaolin tradition speak of masters who could sense an opponent's intent before a strike was made, not because of speed alone, but because their minds were completely still. Their awareness extended beyond the body, encompassing every movement, every breath, every ripple of energy in the space around them. In stillness, the world speaks clearly, and action arises with certainty. Stillness is a form of discipline. It teaches patience, cultivates focus, and strengthens resilience. Life often tempts us with noise, distraction, and urgency, yet the greatest mastery is found in learning to pause. In these quiet intervals, the mind gathers strength, the heart finds direction, and the body aligns effortlessly with intention. To embrace stillness is to embrace control over oneself. It is not withdrawal from life, but preparation for meaningful action. Each pause becomes a doorway, each moment of quiet a source of profound insight. In this space, clarity is born, choices are sharpened, and the unseen power within guides every movement toward effectiveness, precision, and strength. Life moves in rhythms, subtle currents that often pass unnoticed. In Shaolin teachings, the ability to see these currents, to recognize patterns in thought, behavior, and circumstance, is what separates mastery from mere effort. Winners do not rush blindly. They pause, they watch, they learn the invisible language of life before making a move. Monks train their senses not just to react, but to perceive. They observe the flow of energy in the world around them, the rise and fall of emotion within themselves, and the small repeated signals that reveal larger truths. A rustle in the forest, a pause in an opponent's breath, the fleeting tension in a conversation, all hold meaning for the attentive eye. Through patient observation, they understand the rhythm of cause and effect, the hidden connections that dictate outcomes. This principle extends beyond the tempo. Every habit, every choice, every interaction carries a pattern. Those who notice these patterns can anticipate obstacles before they arrive and recognize opportunities before they are obvious. Life no longer feels random. It becomes a field of subtle signals, guiding deliberate and effective action. Understanding patterns requires stillness and patience. It is not observation alone, but reflection upon what is observed, connecting threads that others overlook. The Shaolin path teaches that mastery begins with this inner attentiveness, the quiet skill of seeing what is present but hidden. By learning to read these patterns, the mind becomes a map, the body a responsive instrument, and decisions flow naturally, like water following the contours of a riverbed. What appears as foresight is simply the result of disciplined observation, deep awareness, and the cultivation of inner mastery. In noticing the patterns before action, life itself begins to align with intention, turning challenges into lessons and ordinary moments into gateways of insight. Power without understanding is hollow, and strength without heart is empty. In the Shaolin tradition, true mastery is not measured by force alone, but by the balance of inner power and compassion. The greatest warriors were those who could move with precision and yet act with kindness, whose discipline extended beyond the self to touch the world with awareness and care. Compassion in this ancient philosophy is not weakness. It is a cultivated strength, refined like steel in fire. A monk who hurries to strike without understanding often falters, but one who approaches every situation with calm observation and empathy channels energy with purpose. In life, as in the temple, the ability to respond rather than react creates influence that endures without conflict. Strength anchored in compassion commands respect silently, naturally, without the need for forceful assertion. Stories of Shaolin masters speak of moments when they faced aggression, yet chose measured restraint, reading the intent behind every action. Their presence alone could diffuse tension, because their inner mastery radiated through every gesture, every breath, every calm decision. By balancing firmness with kindness, they demonstrated that true authority comes not from domination, but from alignment with inner principles. This balance is cultivated through discipline, daily practices of mindfulness, reflection, and control of emotion sharpen the mind and strengthen the spirit. Compassion becomes instinctive, integrated seamlessly with strength. Each act, from guiding a novice to facing a challenge, becomes a demonstration of refined power. In the modern world, the lesson remains. Influence is not earned through sheer force, but through the harmony of resilience and empathy. When power and compassion merge, decisions become precise, relationships flourish, and actions resonate beyond the immediate moment. Mastery is not just about what can be achieved. It is about how one moves through life, grounded in strength and guided by heart. There is a subtle power in letting go, a strength hidden in the simple act of surrendering to the moment. In Shaolin philosophy, resistance is recognized as the source of friction, tension, and wasted energy. The mind that fights what is, that struggles against the natural flow of life, becomes heavy, scattered and slow. Yet when acceptance arises, a natural rhythm emerges and action flows effortlessly from clarity. Monks train not to withdraw from the world, but to meet it fully, with awareness and calm. In meditation, in motion, in the quiet repetition of daily practice, they learn to observe life as it unfolds, without forcing outcomes or clinging to expectation. Surrender is not passivity. It is the art of aligning with what is, noticing the currents, and moving with them deliberately, skillfully, and without wasted effort. There are stories of warriors standing face to face with danger, yet moving with the pace of inevitability. They did not force action nor resist circumstance. They acted in harmony with the moment, their awareness guiding every decision. The difference between a reaction born of tension and a response born of alignment is profound. One scatters energy, the other channels it into precision, timing, and effectiveness. In life beyond the temple, this principle remains vital. Stress, impatience, and struggle often arise from resisting what cannot be controlled. Mindfulness practices, such as focused breathing or quiet reflection, cultivate the capacity to respond rather than react. By surrendering without surrendering one's agency, energy is conserved, clarity is sharpened, and actions carry the weight of intention rather than the chaos of impulse. Mastery is born in this delicate balance, the ability to meet reality as it is, to act with awareness, and to move skillfully within the flow of life. In surrender, power is not lost, it is refined, directed, and magnified. True power emerges when attention is turned inward, toward what can be shaped, refined, and directed. In Shaolin teachings, the mind that chases outcomes beyond its control becomes restless, fragmented, and exhausted. Energy wasted on worry, fear, or frustration is energy that could have been focused on deliberate action. Winners, whether in the monastery or in the world beyond, learn to center themselves on what is within reach, the choices, the effort, the discipline that they alone can govern. Monks rise before dawn, performing their routines with exacting precision, not concerned with recognition, competition, or the approval of others. Each posture, each breath, each movement is a practice in self-mastery, a refinement of attention. The results, while sometimes visible, are secondary to the cultivation of skill and focus. Over time, the consistency of effort, grounded in control over self, produces outcomes that appear effortless, but are born from years of unseen discipline. There are tales of masters who faced impossible odds, yet their calm focus allowed them to navigate situations that others could not. They did not lament circumstances or rail against fate. They acted where their influence was real, channeling energy into preparation, observation, and precise execution. This principle extends beyond combat. In any pursuit, external events are often unpredictable, yet the mind that focuses on deliberate action becomes a force of inevitability. Understanding what can be controlled transforms life into a field of deliberate possibility. Each choice, each habit, each moment of attention compounds into mastery. Worry fades, hesitation dissolves, and clarity emerges. Shaolin wisdom reminds us that effort grounded in intention is never wasted. True victory is not measured by immediate results, but by the consistent alignment of energy, action, and purpose. By mastering what lies within, even when the world around remains uncertain. Great strength is rarely born in a single moment. In the Shaolin tradition, mastery is understood as a journey of small, deliberate steps. Each day, each repetition, each mindful act adds quietly to the foundation of skill, focus, and resilience. Grand achievements may capture attention, but it is the patient, steady cultivation of practice that shapes true power. Monks spend years refining the simplest movements, the lift of a hand, the shift of weight, the alignment of breath. At first, these efforts seem insignificant, almost invisible. Yet over time, the repeated focus on detail creates a body that moves with precision, a mind that responds with clarity, and a spirit that endures without faltering. The visible mastery is only the surface. The unseen growth beneath is what allows the extraordinary to emerge. This principle extends to every aspect of life. Incremental progress is a quiet force, often unnoticed by those seeking instant results. Yet each deliberate choice, each small effort, compounds, forming habits, resilience, and insight that ripple outward in ways the untrained eye cannot see. Patience becomes a strength, consistency a weapon, and the ordinary routines of daily life transform into a disciplined practice of self-mastery. Stories passed down through the Shaolin lineage tell of masters who spent decades in quiet, repetitive training. They moved without haste, knowing that the accumulation of small, mindful actions would yield outcomes far beyond the reach of haste or impulse. Life rewards the patient and attentive, the mind and body that are cultivated slowly, consistently, and intentionally become instruments capable of extraordinary action. In embracing the path of incremental growth, one learns to value the unseen work as much as the visible results. Each day becomes an opportunity to refine, to strengthen, and to align. Step by step, repetition by repetition, mastery is built not as a sudden triumph, but as a quiet, unstoppable current that shapes every action and every moment with enduring power. Winners are not shaped by luck or fleeting opportunity. They are forged through inner alignment, clarity of mind, and disciplined action. Every moment of stillness, every act of awareness, every mindful choice in energy and effort builds the foundation for true victory. The path of Shaolin teaches us that real power is quiet, internal, and present in every breath, every step, every decision. Those who have discovered this video today are being invited to awaken that mastery within. Begin by noticing the small patterns in your life, directing your energy with intention, and cultivating patience and compassion alongside strength. Each deliberate action, no matter how simple, compounds into profound transformation over time. Let the lessons of presence, discipline, and mindfulness guide your daily rhythm. Allow yourself to move through life with calm awareness, responding rather than reacting, and aligning your inner strength with the world around you. True mastery grows slowly, quietly, yet its influence reaches far beyond what the eye can see. As you carry these teachings into your own life, may you find clarity in decision, balance in effort, and peace in every step. Embrace the journey of self-mastery and let each day become a reflection of the power that has always existed within you. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets the modern journey of inner strength. Your path to awareness begins with presence. Stay mindful, stay disciplined, and continue to awaken the mastery within.